Hi, my name's Craig Fear. I'm a nutritional therapist. I'm the author of the 30-Day Heartburn Solution. I was recently interviewed where I answered some basic questions about my book, about heartburn, how you can stop heartburn through diet instead of drugs. So I hope you learned something from these questions and I hope you enjoy them.
So how long should I go off the grains for? Forever?
Well, it kind of just depends on the person. So in the book, step one of the three-step plan is to go grain-free. And what I try to spell out is that it depends on the person and depends what your symptoms are and how long you've been struggling with acid reflux. So if it's just a mild case, which for most people it's probably not, because if you've come to this site or my book or wherever avenue you've gone, it's usually because heartburn starts to become more chronic and more of a problem and more influencing or affecting your everyday life. But if it is just mild, what I recommend is 2 weeks grain-free, and then to try to go really gluten-free for a full month, because that's usually considered the gold standard to really do a fair, full-length kind of gluten-free trial. But you can kind of introduce some non-gluten containing grains after 2 weeks, like rice, oats, most oats anyway, quinoa. But 2 weeks is a good period to kind of take grains out, bring in some of the other foods I discuss in the book. And for most people, if you have a mild case, that should dramatically help. And then after 2 weeks, you can bring in some additional grains in moderation and see how your body reacts to them. Now, if the heartburn comes back with those grains, good indication. Your body's telling you, no, not yet. Healing is not complete. I need to, and so another 2 weeks. Keeping them out of the diet. And if it comes back after 2 weeks, it's probably an indication you need to go a lot longer than another 2 weeks. But for most people with a mild case of heartburn, that often just a few weeks will be enough to see a great improvement. You can bring kind of non-gluten containing grains in moderation, in conjunction with other healthful foods, which I discuss in the book. If you have a more moderate case, you might want to go a full month. Definitely want to take gluten out for a month. And then after a month, you kind of reintroduce those grains. Again, in moderation, see how you feel. If the heartburn comes back, it's a good indication you need to go quite a bit longer. In more extreme cases, those who've been on these heartburn meds, taken tons of antacids, taken these acid blockers for years, if not decades, you're probably going to have to go quite a bit longer than that. And because it's probably you have other digestive issues as well. If you have IBS, if you have intestinal inflammation, other problems in the digestive tract, chronic bloating, you need to kind of really, I tell people to listen to your own intuition. But if you have a more severe accelerated case, really helpful to take out grains for quite a longer period, at least several months, and in more extreme cases, maybe even as much as a year. But that really will take the burden off of the digestive system. We bring in the other the other foods I discuss in the book, and we're really going a long way to kind of really healing the digestive tract and helping you kind of get off some of those acid blockers and stop the acid from chronically refluxing into the esophagus.